You have now tuned into Woman to Woman Podcast. That's Woman, the number 2 Woman Podcast, a space where women share their stories, trials, and celebrate triumphs while taking listeners on a journey of faith, inspiration, motivation, love, and hope. At Woman to Woman, our motto is there is therapeutic value in shared stories. I'm your host, Denise Hinkson Lawrence. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another recording of Woman to Woman podcast. I'm excited about our conversation today, and I just want to get right into it. I have a wonderful, beautiful guest with me, and her name is Shanice Kelly. Shanice, say hello to the people.
Hey, people.
I think they can tell right now is going to be a great recording.
Yes, it is.
So, just for everyone that's listening, Shanice, we have some listeners all over the world that listen to our podcast here. So why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about who is Shanice? Why is Denise so excited to have Shanice on? Go ahead, Shanice. Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Shanice. I am 29 years old. I am a mompreneur. So that means I have kids and I do some business. Yeah. So I have 2 beautiful kids. One is 9, KJ, and one is 4, Kai. And then I do a multitude of things. I do hair. So I travel and do hair. I'm into transportation company. That is amazing. I love that so much because it's so easy. And I just recently got into the entertainment industry. So that for me, it opened up so many new things that I didn't even remember I could do. And that it's so inspiring for me. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you, Shanice. Oh my God. When I look at you now, just to see how your life has transformed, how you have developed and evolved into this person that you are now. I mean, you've always been beautiful. I'll never consider that. So for me to see a beautiful person, it's like, okay, she's always been beautiful, right? Inside and out. But just amazing. You're 29. I can't believe you're 29. And I must say, people, I do know Shanice on a personal level, okay? That's my niece. That's my
Before
niece.
I was born.
Exactly. Our family goes so way back. So it's just great to watch you over the years and into who you are right now. And I don't think that's the end of you because Shanice is always evolving. There's something about your creativity. It's just amazing to watch, even as a young child growing up. You just always been on what we call the hustle.
I've created some creative paths. Let's just say that. I do some things and it makes $1. So hello.
They've always been about the money. And you mentioned about your 2 boys, but I must say KJ has some of that entrepreneur spirit as well. I saw the last time he was promoting his juice.
He still actually wants to do it. Every now and then, we're in the food industry as well here. So every now and then he's like, Mom, I'm gonna come, or he'll help me pack some little fruit packs and stuff. And so that money kind of goes to him. And it works. He likes it. He, as long as he's selling something, he can realize that he's gonna make some money.
It's about making the money. It's the
But
green.
it's also about saving. So I'm trying to tell him, like, listen, buddy, you want to go to Target and you want to get these V-Bucks stuff and all, you got to save the money. So that way you can get the $100 V-Bucks and not the $50 ones. And so I'm just like, trying to implement saving instead of spending. But, it's going to be a progress.
Hey, it took you a while to get there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Shanice, I know you said you're 29, but you're getting ready now to approach 30 soon. Hey, welcome 30 in a few weeks, in a week and a half maybe or so, right? October 18th, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So with that, also there's another part of Shanice that's going to be introduced to the world. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so glad to have you on the show today, because that's going to be Shanice the author. Wow.
I'm introducing myself as an author. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Amazing. It's been 5 years. of writing, I went through a lot with writing itself. It takes so much discipline. It takes so much courage to write about your story and to
Mm.
be bold enough and brave enough to actually want to release it to the world. Because it's not just going to be your friends and your family, but now it's the world that
Knowing
kind of
your business. Yeah.
knows you or
Yeah.
knows pieces of you. And it's like, oh, okay, that's scary. But, for me, I take it as trying to empower someone else.
Absolutely.
So the book is
Absolutely.
called What Doesn't Kill Me.
Hmm.
And I've been sitting on that title for about 3 years. At first, when I was writing, I really didn't know what I wanted to write about, but I just started writing down my experiences. I have notes
Right.
in my phone, I have notes in books, and it ended up being something so powerful for me because I want to release what I went through in my experiences so that I'm able to grow in my new chapter.
Absolutely. And what better way to do it than to do this around your birthday, right? A new year, new you stepping into the
New
new
decade.
decade. Come on now. So from one published author to the next, welcome to this world. Welcome to this world, girl. It is the best thing that you could do. Let me tell you something. There's so much power in sharing your story. As in this podcast, you hear talk about the fact that, in my intro, I say there's therapeutic value in shared stories. And the reason why I believe that so firmly, because there's something that you have went through that somebody else is currently dealing with, and they don't know how to handle it. And just from reading your story or you sharing your story on a platform such as this or any other platform that you may embrace and step on, it's they listening and they're like, oh my goodness, I can identify. That's what that is. That's what I've been struggling with. And this is how maybe it's not going to be the same journey, the duration of it, or certain things entail of it, but there's something familiar, something similar that they can identify with. And it changed their life because they can connect with you, you know? So sometimes it's hard for us to unmask because it's like, oh my gosh, they don't know me. Why am I telling this? And sometimes, of course, it's like, okay, am I giving too much information? Am I not giving enough information? And
Struggled.
that battle, how did you deal with that? Like, is to consider how much do I share?
Right. And so I rewrote this book about 3 to 4 times. Scrapped out. Okay, let me add this, maybe a little less of this. Maybe, okay, this person's feelings may get hurt if I just say this one thing, but it's been burning me, so I got to put it inside. So I went through all of that. I mean, even going through going through the loss of my bag. I had a really nice bag that I bought myself, and I don't know. I was with KJ, and KJ, I think, left my car door open, and they stole my computer, my notes, and my bag. So that was one time of me starting over. And I'm just like, okay, am I supposed to do this? I questioned myself so much. And so I had a period of isolation while I moved to Atlanta, and I was able to really dive deep into my story a little bit more. And everything that I went through, I knew that I had to go through. So for me, it's like, yeah, I might nitpick and say, okay, well, I should put this, and maybe I shouldn't put this, but it all came together how it should. And I'm so excited, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. And I'm happy with it.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I'm sure our audience is going to be just the same. And again, the title of the book is What Doesn't Kill Me.
Mhm.
That title. What made you come up with that title, Shanice?
So I've been through so much. I'm only 29, like we've been saying, and I felt like I had experiences of a 40 and 50-year-old woman. Like I've experienced so much. I got married at a young age. I had my first child I had a teenage pregnancy. I did so much. I went to college. I've switched my degrees so many times. I'm always on a path of doing something and going somewhere. So like I've experienced so much and I've just gathered all of my experiences and I'm like, wow, I went through a lot. None of that killed me.
Come
So
on. Obviously, I'm looking at you. Now, it's good when we have this positive talk, say none of it killed me, but in reality, it took you to some dark places, right? It took you through those process of depression and anxiety and even some suicidal thoughts. How did you maneuver?
during those times, it was hard. It was very hard. Like my family didn't know that I was going through these things. And I had to really try to pull myself out of it, or I would talk to leadership people and people who were in power, women of God, and they helped me through it. I have an aunt who's a prayer warrior, and we know who she is. She does a lot of talking and trying to get me back to where I was in Christ, so that way I can see myself. And that's the way I desire to see myself, through Christ. So, she did a lot of praying and a lot of talking me through what I was going through. So yeah, I mean, right now where I'm at, I'm happy spiritually, I'm happy mentally, I'm trying to get happy financially.
I like that. I like that whole being, right? You want to be a whole person,
Yeah,
right?
okay, the whole thing.
All the alleys.
So that's where I'm at with it right now. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
grateful. I'm grateful.
absolutely. And so when it comes to the book itself, what hasn't killed me? That whole concept, there's so many women that can identify with that different aspect as to I'm still here. I'm still standing despite all the trials, despite all the troubles, despite all the trauma. I'm still here. Some women may not be as completely healed as to where you are in your journey. So what would you say to them that are listening right now? How do we get there? Is that even possible?
It is definitely possible. You have to want it though. You have to know that this is just your trial and it's a test, and you don't have a testimony without test.
Come on.
Okay. You have to you
Come
have
on.
to really dig deep within yourself. You know yourself. So you go through situations and you gain all this experience, and you have to understand, like, okay, this is just life. And so you step outside of yourself and you say, you know what? I'm better than this. I didn't come on this earth for me to be this way. I came on this earth to experience what God put on this earth, right? The finer things in life, the everything. I want to experience a higher form.
Yeah.
So I had to get to myself there, right? And so how I did it was through therapy. I did a lot of therapy. I did
Come
marriage
on.
therapy.
Black women going to therapy. Come on.
We
I
got
love it.
We do. I went through a lot of different therapy sessions and types of therapy, and it worked for me. It helped me to see outside the box and say, okay, I'm better than this. Even currently, recently when I was in my isolation, in isolation you can fall into depression very quickly.
Yes.
And so if you're not understanding what phase you're going through in life, you'll definitely fall into that. And so I had to really spiritually put my spirit cat on and say, listen, this is just my test. I'm just in this phase because I have somewhere to go. I have something to elevate. So elevation requires isolation. And
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I was in that space from May of 2020 up until September.
Wow.
And so it was very long. During it, I was like, what is going on? And I had to pull myself out of that. So I went through my own therapeutic ways. I knew writing for me can help me. I wrote out everything. Some things I had to take out only because I still have to heal from it, right?
Okay.
And so I
Right.
don't want to talk about it if I'm not healed from it. And
Come
so
on.
I
Stick it right there. Stick it right there because that's something so important. Again, this is so in line with this program. There's therapeutic value and shared story. The other part that I often quote when I go on platforms, I say, hey, however, though there's therapeutic value and shared story, knowing when to share, why we share, where we share, and how much we share, and to whom we share is important. Because that's the thing. When you share from a healed place, oh, the power, the trajectory change that happens in people's lives. But when you share from a space that you're not healed and you're bleeding, you then bleed on the listeners, you then bleed on the followers, you then bleed on those that are around you. And it's not a good situation. So I always encourage people, share from your heal space. You can write your journey, journal your journey, record your journey. But when you're sharing, share from that space of being healed because you want to make an impact that's going to change somebody's life. So I'm so glad, so grateful for you, Shanice, that you're so transparent. And I think oftentimes we miss that part, that authenticity, being transparent and unmasking and say, you know what, it's me. Yes, I know what I look like on the outside, but what's on the inside, I'm about to expose it. I'm about to expose it because I need to be healed and I know you need to be healed. So I'm excited about this book. So, and just the whole journey, it's just so amazing to watch you grow in person and to watch you on these social media streets. But you're killing it, girl. You're killing it. You're killing it. You're killing it out there. You're killing it. And to just see, and I mean, I strongly believe that your followers are going to be empowered. They're going to be so inspired by this book. And, people may say, okay, but who wants to know her story? I think I know it already. No, you don't know the real deal. You know what you heard.
Yes,
it's going to give you the real scope.
Let me clear some things up, bro.
Wait a minute. So wait, but I thought they said that's what happened in 2023. No, oh no. Let me tell you the real deal. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shanice, give us a sneak peek into like what to expect. So we know the title and we hear you talking, but is there going to be this like, whoa? It's like, whoa.
I think people will really enjoy hearing the experiences. And so I'm a goofball. So I'll say a lot of things that's like, oh my gosh, Shanice is stupid. Like, why she put that in her book? Or like, I'll say a joke, or I'll be so dead serious about the experience I just went through. And I'll just say a joke in the middle of it. And so that's another thing that I'm able to have. Like, I'm able to laugh in the midst of my trauma. And so I think people will really relate to that in the book.
Yeah. Nice. Is there a favorite chapter of yours?
All a pretty thug gotta read is the last chapter. The last chapter is like, wow. The last chapter is like, okay, I understand all of her pieces. And so it makes sense. Right. And so that's that the last chapter really puts everything into perspective.
All right. So Shanice, let me ask you this. When you look back, you said earlier about your test and testimony, right? And I'm a firm believer of that I believe life is not happening against you, but it's happening for you, right? So your pain is not happening against you, but it's happening for you because it's sometimes the pain that pushes us into that place of purpose, right? It's out of that pain experience that we've experienced. You're like, you know what? I know I've been called to this. I know I was called to empower. I know I was called to do this. I know I was called to do that, right? It's from that place of pain that it's highlighted. So for you, from your experience in your places of pain and your trauma and your healing journey that you have been so transparent about, because not a lot of people will say, okay, I've been to therapy or I'm in therapy. Or a lot of people won't say, well, I have a brand, so I can't share anything too much because it's going to, against my brand. And you're in that position. You have a brand. You are an entrepreneur, mompreneur, all of that, panor, right? You're making it, you're doing, and you're being, and you're becoming, and you are being. and you still have that to represent. You also have your kids. They will pick up the book later on and be like, Mom, whoa, 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 whoa. You have relatives and families and friends that may get a little bit scratch a little throat here and there, might want to send you a letter after they pick up a copy. But your truth is your truth, right? Your truth is your truth.
I
And for
have
a while, people have had your story. So now you're owning your story. What does that do for you, knowing that you now control that power?
I had to do this. I had a door to open.
Mm,
And so this was one of them. So I had to close. In order to open a door, you got to close one, right? So I'm closing, releasing all of that hurt, the trauma, the all of it. I'm done with it, right? And all I can do now is take my experiences, mold them, and try to help me to go through the next door. Weightless. I had a prophecy on me that said, you are going to be so great in life. I see you, in buildings and doing so much things. And he prayed over my hands. He said, my hands are gold. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to receive that. Right. And so, but he said, in order for you to, you have to do a couple things. Your feet are like, I see anchors on my feet. And so all these anchors are stopping you from going there. This was in 2012. I had just had KJ. And I'm like, Jesus, that stuck with my head for so long, because I'm like, okay, what are the anchors? I had to really dig deep and find what are my anchors. Some of them were blatantly in my face. And I'm like, that's not an anchor. It's just how the person is or how the situation is. Or no, I really had to cut some things loose of me so that way I'm able to float. And that's honestly why you guys see me glowing and oh my God, okay, what the hell just happened to Shanice? Like she just got, and those are the things that I'm cutting loose, because people play in my face, and they played in my face a long time. And then you know how that goes. So I had to do that. I had to do that in order for me to start elevating in certain ways.
wow, Shanice. Oh my goodness. Again, just impressed. Just impressed. I mean, I don't look at you as the baby Shanice anymore. I look at you as, and I can attest to that testimony, that prophecy. I was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one time, Kayla and I visited you in one of your businesses that you had when you were living in Connecticut, and we had that heart-to-heart talk. So this book is no surprise to me because I remember saying to you, Shanice, you have a story.
Yes.
And pen and paper.
It was literally right after that. It was just like, okay, I got a story. I'm
Write it, girl. Now, when they come charging you, don't tell them I told you to write. Okay. Let's take that part out. But that is so empowering, that release. And you talk earlier about isolation, and I think we all need to look at that, because sometimes I remember I went through my isolation. Mine took about 13 years, girl. A 13-year whole island of Patmos by myself, but it was good because the moment I came back out, I'm able to soar like really, really high, like the eagle. And I often say to people, if you look at the eagle, as powerful as it is, it takes time and go in a cave and pluck its wings. And then when it comes back out, whoo, baby, the altitude, it's amazing. So just to see your altitude, it's amazing. It's powerful. Listen, your hands, your feet, all that.
Because the other day I got another prophetic word, and the guy said, I see you, but I see you in an eagle form and you're soaring. So all these things, I'm just like, all right, I got to keep God embedded into everything that I do, every door that I try to open, everything that I do, God will bless it. And if I continually have him embedded in everything, in every step, and every decision that I make. So, it's what you're saying is absolutely true.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about keeping God, because I remember one of the prophecies said that that's what you have to do. And so there are many people that may look, let's just be real, because that's what me, Denise is always going to be real.
Mhm.
So there are many people that may know you, right? We have listeners all over the world that's listening right now that they're not familiar with who Shanice is and so on, but there's some that may be familiar with you. And they're going to look at you in a judgmental way. Oh, where is God? Uh, she's in the entertainment business. How is God in that? Or she's doing this and she's doing that. And you're going to have those, right? But you have to stay focused. So how do you stay focused on what the goal is? How do you stay focused on what the prize is when you have the critics around you near and far, whether in the kingdom or outside of the kingdom, in the business industry, in the different businesses that you are acquiring and doing? How do you stay focused when the competition and the naysayers are around? How does Shanice stay focused and go for that goal?
So it's funny that you say that, because number one, I'm human, right? Number two, I'm spiritual. So a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, then, and you're a prophet. So I'll have that same ability to read somebody so quick and say, listen, oh yeah, I like my R&B. I like doing a lot of things, but you do too. And so I'm able okay, I'm able to let them know, like, listen to me. You're not going to judge me. You're not going to, I'll let people know off the bat. And like I said, I'm only human. I have one life to live. I'm still young. I want to do the things that I didn't get a chance to do. I mean, I got married young, like I said, and my youth years were taken from me because I was a wife. I was a mom, very young. So now it looks as if, well, damn, Shanice is enjoying her little self. And that's because I did a lot of things. I switched it around, like, so for me, listen, you can say anything that you want to say. It doesn't matter me none. I'm at a point in life where I want to enjoy me. I want to get to know me again. I want to do all of my talents. I want to exploit them. I want to every I want to just explore myself. Okay, so I don't care. Y'all can say whatever you want to say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that boldness. I love that boldness because you know what? Here's the thing. I've learned this the hard way for myself. You have to learn to celebrate you.
Mhm.
You have to learn to love you. I remember spending years just dumbing down myself for people because I found myself in environments where I was ahead of the game. And so people were not able to accommodate that. They were not able to facilitate that. And so I would dummy down my wins. I remember one time I talk about it all the time. I had this grand interview years ago, maybe about 15, 20 years ago or so with then artist Papa San, that was of my generation time, Papa San and Junior Tucker when they had just crossed over to gospel. And that was a big win for me, for someone who was a media study journalist in college at Sacred Heart. And I had this opportunity to interview them, and it was a big thing. But my environment at the time did not celebrate that. And so I dummied down that. So now in this 2022 and 2021 that I'm emerging again as a podcaster, or author, and doing interviews and so on. People are thinking that this is new. And I'm like, no, I've been doing this 20 something years ago. But because I never celebrated those wins,
Yep.
because I was maybe ahead of my time, you know, and so now people are like, oh, now she's no, this is me. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been created to do. So I am now living it. And so it will make you feel like you're an imposter in this era, but you're not, because you're being true to who you are. So I'm glad you said that. You know, you're living the real Shanice now. And as you live, you're going to evolve. So whatever you're doing now that may you yourself may look back at this video and be like, oh, Denise, that was 2 years ago. I don't do that no more, right?
And it's funny because my Uncle David, he really prayed for me this past weekend and said, the taste that I have for things, he prayed against it and said, very soon all that will dissipate. And I'm praying with you. You know, I'm happy that you said that, because yeah, you do need people in your corner to like really help you to understand yourself. And so maybe in 2 years I'll say, hey Dan, I don't do those things anymore.
Exactly.
There goes my testimony again.
Right. I love this, Shanice. I love that you're so honest about the growth in you and who you are becoming and who you are at present and who you will eventually be. And that's it. You have to keep growing, right? You have to keep growing. So yes, maybe some things currently in your life may not align with what everyone will be saying it should align with. But having that support, like you just mentioned about your Uncle David, you know, where he's not saying that he's not aware of what you're doing. He's saying, I'm praying that the taste that you currently have, it will eventually go away so that you can grow, so that you can evolve. And that's good to have those people who are straightforward and honest and authentic with you and be like, listen, I love you, baby girl, but this right here, that's a difference with being criticized. That's a difference. It's the approach. If you come to me correctly, I'll listen to you. You come to me away and be like, look, like you said, I'm gonna show you back. Did you just say, because I can show you your video. I can show you your picture.
Oh yeah, the thing about him is, and it's so funny, like I said, he prayed for me this weekend and I had my cup of wine sitting right there.
During the prayer.
And after the prayer, I'm like, KJ, go throw this away.
So that immediate reaction.
I don't want it anymore. It's okay. But yes, you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Shanice, I want to talk a little bit about the book before we wrap up and just ask you for a closing point for some of our listeners. Like, what would you want them to have from our conversation? But is there any part of the book that you can share with us? Just a little teaser. Is there a line? Is there a particular chapter that covers a certain area of your life? Just a teaser, because we're waiting. I mean, I have seen the cover. You know, I got more privy than they do, right? But I'm just saying, come on now. We got to pre-order. I want you to give us the information, how to pre-order, all that. But before you do all that and, you know, this call to action or takeaway, give us a little insight. Could you please, just a little squeeze, a little tingle?
Okay, that's no problem. Let me see. My favorite, I would say my favorite is talking about my marriage. Yeah. And I'll say that because it covers a lot of my hurt where I was. It has a lot to do with where I am now. And I talked about sex, honey.
Wait, you talk about who?
Sex.
Oh, wow. All right now.
I talked about cheating.
All right now.
I talked about everything that there could possibly be. I talked about a lot. And so that right there from me, whew, child, is hot.
Girl, what chapter is that again? Because I don't think I got to that chapter. What chapter is that again?
It's chapter 3. Chapter. There's only 6 chapters, but they're juicy. They're juicy. And like I said, they're funny also. I'm a goofball, so I like to make people laugh. And so it's a good dialect sometimes. Some of the pages have really good dialect between me and my therapist, me and somebody else, me and, you know, so it's a good mix that you're gonna get. And again, I just hope that it encourages the next young woman going through.
Yeah.
And that's really where I want it to be. And you're also gonna get a surprise in the end of the book. I don't want to say, I won't say too much, but you'll get a surprise at the end of the book. And I hope everybody really just grasp to that concept that I'm trying to do. And it'll be good. It'll be great to see you guys' reaction. I want you guys to also leave reviews, all of that stuff. Go to my page. You guys can follow me on IG at Shanice Alexandria, and you can email me at sabcreativesco@gmail.com, and we can keep in touch.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to put all that in the show note so that people can get in touch with you, follow her on all her social media handles, and you can go to her website. What's your website, Shanice?
ShaniceAlexandria.com.
There you go. You heard it right here from the author's mouth. Come on now. Woo! You might grab that book. It's a book about sex, a book about cheating and fidelity. Woo! It's juicy. Oh my goodness.
It's hot in
It's,
here.
it's hot. It's about trauma. It's about life. It's about family. It's about hurt. It's about healing. It's about therapy. It's something that's going to transform your life because guess what? It didn't kill you.
Nope.
Did not kill you. Again, tell us what's the title of this wonderful book that's coming out?
What doesn't kill me?
What doesn't kill me? You're still standing, still living, still breathing. Amazing. Because now you have a testimony out of your test.
Absolutely.
You have a message out of your mess.
Mhm.
And you have now walked into purpose out of your pain. Shanice, it's an honor to have had you on today as a guest.
Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on and
You're
sharing with our audience on today. So, ladies, you want to get that book, get it now. Get it now. Order it now. There's a treat. There's a treat.
right now.
Have the information for you and you want to order it now. Get your and you want to get it autographed. Okay, so put your order in now. Go to her website and order it now. And you'll get a personal note from Shanice, as well as in the back of the book. There's a surprise. Again, Shanice, thank you so much for blessing our platform with your presence and sharing this book and this journey with us. We certainly hope that you will come back on and teach us some stuff about, being mompreneur and, trying businesses and this hair thing and hair oil and makeup and all these good stuff.
All the things, all the things.
All the other things. You see? How to wear the wig right.
Right. Part it this way.
Yeah. See, the front of mine right here, I went to church and they gave me oil and it just got stuck. I didn't know they were gonna put the good oil on the good on the fake hair.
Not the good oil.
They used the good oil. If it wasn't the good oil, I could have brushed it out. As you can see, it's just
Oh my goodness.
stuck. It's
Oh my
stuck.
goodness. Oh my
They used the good oil, and I didn't know. I would have worn the good hair that day,
Oh my God.
But yeah. So we need you. We need you to come back on and help us and just be you. I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you. Proud of the woman you are. Proud of your past. Proud of your present, and even more celebrating your future to come. It's bright. I need the glasses just to look at you. Yeah, I gotta put my shades on.
Right over here.
Thank you so much, Shanice. You have a wonderful day. Ladies, please, again, you want to follow the show notes. We'll have information in the show notes for you for how to order a copy of Shanice's book. There's a special treat for you at the end, and you want to get to know her. So follow her on all her Instagram pages, ShaniceAlexandria.com. All right, thank you. Thank you for listening to Woman podcast.
And we have come to the end of another recording. Certainly want to thank you for your continued support. Continue to download, to share, and to give us a 5-star rating. All right. Again, thank you for your support. Continue to send us your email at w2wpodcastshow@gmail.com. That's w2wpodcastshow@gmail.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram at W2W Podcast. Okay. And think about sponsoring us as well. Okay. Look at the show notes or go to Patreon and just put in Women to Women Podcast Show and you'll see us, and you can sponsor us from as little as $5 and on. Continue to be blessed. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful day. And hey, continue to be awesome. All right. Take care now. I'm your host, Denise Hinkson Lawrence. Bye for now.